when that tight group of gym owners first started doing this, they started seeing his ads and they're like, son of a bitch is selling the Colonel's secret recipe. They're like, what is he doing? He's going to ruin it for everybody. It's funny though. Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. What's going on, everybody? We are live. We got Big Dave back in the show. Big Dave, what's up, man?
What's going on, buddy? Ready to have some fun?
I am ready to have some fun because we're going to hit up the old love it or hate it. It can be your best friend or your worst enemy, the old 6-week challenge. Today, we're going to talk about how to make the 6-week challenge work in 2023. So, man, this is a hot topic too, because some people, it's worked for them. Some people, it has crushed their livelihood. Some people have done it like it used to be done back in the day. Some people use it just as a lead, like as the main call to action on a lead, but it's not really how the play was run back in 2016, 17. But I think the main thing, Dave, is that like people have a lot of different stories about this thing. And so we're going to explore all those. But first, Dave, how'd your weekend go, man?
It was, you know what? I have Parker's going through a sleep regression right now. So it is just, we're opening up our gym in freaking like 6 weeks. I don't know if you even got the email. So it's like, I got to check out the space for the first time, me and Brandon. So we're getting ready to change some lives in Mesa, Arizona. So it was an eventful weekend.
Yeah. So guys, if you don't know, we're opening up a 7th gym in Mesa, Arizona, and we're going through the build out right now. Super exciting. We're just going to kill it. We were going over our marketing plan last week. I'm pumped. I just saved. I got the government to pay $21,000 of my tax bill for this upcoming tax year by getting solar. If you live in a warm climate, shit, you can get some good stuff done there. But hey, guys, let's get right into it. So 6-week challenge. Dave, do you even know the origin of the 6-week challenge?
I mean, I think everyone thinks it's Hormozi. I know it actually started before Hormozi though. So
yeah.
let's I think that's a great
before that. Yeah. And it's funny because just my network of other gym owners runs really deep, right? So like it went before that. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember who was the original guy who created this, but there was a very small group of gym owners who started launching this way before Hormozi. And he was later on, he actually became part of that group, and was in there. You know, didn't say much or interact much with it. But yeah, a lot of guys were running that play way before. And back in the day, it was printing money because this is back when Facebook ads were like 2 cents, right? And no offer had been like this. Even internet advertising, like people didn't know about it. And again, it had the too good to be true. It was basically a bait and switch offer, which we've never run that, guys. And I'm not judging anybody who has. I understand if you pitched it, how that play is run, where it's free, but then it's not, but you get your money back. It's not my style. I get I get how somebody could wrap their head around it and do it. But I will say that 95% of the gym owners that we've met that have done it, and it just was horrible. Like they ethically or whatever it was, they didn't line up with that offer. And I'm the same way. I'm never going to do a bait and switch kind of thing. It's free. Just kidding. It's not, but it could be. Right. And it ruined it for all of us for years to come because we would put out any ads and then people like, I thought this was free. Why the fuck would you think I'm paying to put out ads and paying all this overhead rent and have all these staff members, and I'm going to give out all my stuff for free. Like that doesn't even make any sense, but it ruined it for everybody, which is why a lot of people have an issue with it. But so it was way before that. A few of them were doing that. And back in the day, I know one gym owner, he had, I think, well over 10, like maybe 12, 13 gyms at the peak. And he would actually rent out like a hotel ballroom and do an event and sell it in the ballroom and sign up like 150 people.
Wow.
Like bananas. Obviously, you need multiple locations for that. But then it all came crashing down, right? Facebook ads became more expensive. They became harder. And then this play blew up everywhere. It blew up everywhere because what happened was then Hormozi started running his ads to teach people how to do it. That became Gym Launch, and it exploded and became everywhere. And then it stopped working, right? Because everybody was using it, among other things. But yeah, it's funny when that tight group of gym owners first started doing this, they started seeing his ads, and they're like, son of a bitch is selling the Colonel's secret recipe. They're like, what is he doing? He's going to ruin it for everybody. It's funny though. Yeah. And I know some of the people who are teaching this to other gym owners before, like it just blew up with Gym Launch. So, but anyways, a lot of people don't resonate with it because they don't like running a bait and switch play. Okay. I'm one of those people, so I've never run it like that. A lot of times then other groups took the 6-week challenge just as kind of the front end of shell of it, but then just actually sold whatever 6-week offer too. And $4.99, $5.99 are the most common routes for it. And typically what people will do after that 6 weeks is then drop them into group for a lower price and keep them going.
Yep.
A lot of the gyms that did this, fast forward a year, 2-3 years, they're in no better shape than they were before doing this. Even though it just flooded their gym. They couldn't keep anybody. They couldn't retain anybody. There's customer service issues. The time it takes even to do the nutrition on it was very time consuming and not really good rates to get them renewed into an ongoing membership for any reasonable amount of time. So it became a bit of a churn factory. But yeah, when Facebook ads started getting more expensive, this thing just came crumbling down. It didn't work. The final nail in the coffin was COVID. COVID fucking obliterated this kind of a model pretty bad in a big way. So, and I was talking about this. We had JP flying in over the weekend, got to meet up with him because he ran the 6-week challenge. So here's why it sucks and is unsustainable right now in 2023 for those who are running it or considering running it. And if you're listening to this, you won't see it, but I'm going to pull up this graphic because it's a really good graphic that sums it up. Okay. This is everybody is trying to tell you need more leads, more clients, more clients, more clients, more clients. You're at 150, you need to get to 300. You're at 200, you need to get to 250, whatever it is. It's really freaking hard to do it. A low price, high volume is a lot of work. You have a lot of members to service and all their complaints. You need more staff. It just contributes to more problems. You need a larger space to do this in, increased admin costs, increased expenses. You're constantly having to run ads, a lot of ads to bring this volume. And that gets expensive too, right? So your margins start shrinking. You have a lot of churn to deal with. When you're setting up that high of volume and something lower price, you tend to have a lot of churn and fielding a lot of complaints. People who pay the least, they expect the most. They're the most difficult to please. And when you do this day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out for years on end, you can burn out. When you have to get in 200 leads a month and nurture 200 leads, and I don't care how good your automations are, it's still a lot of freaking work. You know, the only people who can really sustain that for a long period of time are the owner operators. It is, and this is what JP was talking about. He could get that system to work, but it's a freaking grind. And they'll sell it to you based on the promise of you working less and making more. But that is not how high volume works. You're grinding, you're working more, and you can't let off the gas. And if something happens to your ads, they stop being effective, Facebook slaps you with an algorithm change, you're kind of dead in the water. And it's a really, really, really hard model. And when the pandemic hit and shut it off, scattered like roaches. And since the pandemic, it is harder. We're in an environment where we can still get a low cost per lead now. That's not an issue. But getting these guys in the door is a battle. Those of you who are doing like higher volume stuff are seeing no-show rates probably in 60, 70%. It's high. It's a dogfight out there for it. And this model has kind of broken down. But yeah, it was good catching up with JP and hearing his whole story on it. He's like, dude, I was grinding like crazy. And so it doesn't work very well. And it's kind of pitched as like a high ticket thing too, isn't it, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell everybody
100%.
like why is it? I guess back in the day when people, because here's the reality of it, right? Personal training was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then boot camp was the thing. Then CrossFit was the thing. And all the derivatives of this, the orange zones, the F45s, this bloody ass water, right? Mm-hmm. This bloody ocean, this red ocean full of group businesses, like low priced, high volume group businesses. And when this came along, it's like, oh, we're at $5.99 for 6 weeks. It's high ticket. But why isn't that high ticket, Dave?
Yeah, well, I think it's, you always say, you say it better than most. It's the math that doesn't add up, right? So $5.99 back in the day, like pre-pandemic, you could have 20, 25, 30 conversations with leads, right? So at that $5.99, it would very quickly add up. In today's world, we're gym owners. Take Sugar Shane, for example. So who runs our Desert Ridge location. We do paid ads, okay? Mm-hmm. At most, he's sitting down with maybe 12 to 15 of those people. And that's with having a team to do the call nurturing. That's with him doing nurturing on the back end to make sure they're showing for the PC, right? So a lot has to go right to sit down with 10 to 15 people. A lot has to go right. $5.99, it sounds great if you're having 25 or 30 or 35 conversations, but when you're only having 8 to 10 conversations, right? And a lot of these leads coming in looking at that offer, they're very, very cold. So it's much harder to close them even on a $5.99 price point. So the math, I mean, if you're spending $1,000, $1,500 in ads, what's your normal, another $1,000 to $1,500 to have someone run your ads because nobody's doing that, you're looking at $3,000 right there. So at that $5.99 price point, you damn near be closing 80, 85% of people. And that's your highest ticket offer on the menu. So you say it the best, man. The math doesn't add up right now with $5.99 being high ticket. The cost that you have, the price you have to spend to have a cold conversation come in and sit down, it's way, way, way too high.
Yeah, it is. It's the ROI, right? Your ROAS, your return on ad spend. It's really hard to do it with lower ticket items. And maybe if you're back in the day when you're selling group at like 150, 120 to 180, sure, I guess you could count $4.99, $5.99 as high ticket back in the day. But we also come from the personal training world too, where it's like, sessions are 70 to 90 bucks and you're buying them in 8 to 12 or 20, whatever the hell it is. So we're used to like true higher cost things. That's our advantage. And for some reason, the trend all went to super low price group, 99 bucks a month to 200 bucks a month. And so when this came out, it was pinned as high ticket, but it is not high ticket, guys. At best, it's a mid-ticket item. And that's where that's where it was lost on people. And it took us forever to figure this out and how to do high ticket. So what is high ticket? And I guess let's zoom out for 1 second. Yeah. Like the 6-week challenge, this is what we're going to talk about, how to make it work in today's environment. It is still something that can work really well. And then we have a mid-ticket kind of thing that we'll teach you. It's our mid-ticket, we call it the Tom Brady offer. And it's because it's not like you can win a championship. Even if you're having a hard time selling high ticket, you can win a championship with mid-ticket. That's why Dave nicknamed it the Tom Brady offer, because he started his career as a backup quarterback. So it's not your first stringer, it's your backup. And that's also why it's so much easier to sell and get that 80+% closing rate that Dave just mentioned, because you're going to price anchor with something more expensive. So some people come in the doors expecting free, expecting $100 a month, $150 a month. And then when you hit them with something like that, they're like, oh man, that's a little expensive. But what if we hit them with something that's $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000? A lot of times we'll get it. We'll teach you how, but now you're $5.99 and we advise people to raise that. $5.99 to $7.99, maybe even up to $14.99 for your mid ticket 6 week. It looks like a no brainer. It looks like you're giving it away at that point. And so you can achieve that. So yes, high ticket is something different. I'll show you another great example of this. So like we've talked about this before on a live, 3 different offers for 3 types of clients, right? Number 1, this is your mentorship. This is your true high ticket offer. This is something, and it depends whether you're a group gym, a semi-private gym, a one-on-one PT gym, but typically you're going to look at like a 9-week program being $2,000 to $6,000, a true high ticket. So when you look at it on a monthly basis, you're like, okay, yeah, $1,000 and it's delivered in group. Yeah, that would be considered high ticket, but that's a mentorship. So a mentorship is think it's the workouts plus nutrition and accountability, plus you taking them by the hand and walking them through and how to make this change in their lives and become a new person, help them believe in themselves. Not as hard as you think, guys. It's nutrition and accountability on a little bit of steroids, maybe just creatine monohydrate. Okay. That's what a mentorship is. It's so much easier than you'd think. But most of you guys are just really good at giving workouts, right? You're just great at getting workouts. The 6-week challenge touches on people wanting to change, lose weight, feel better about themselves, right? So it also brings in nutrition and accountability. That's good. Okay. The problem is that's too low of a price for a lot of people to even change. If you've ran a 6-week challenge in the past, you're like, cool, we're going to give you this nutrition and accountability. And it is like pulling teeth to get them to make any changes.
Yep.
And you have to be on them. They just don't do it. And because they don't participate in it, there's high churn. It's really, really, really challenging. That's where you add another type of offer. This is your high ticket mentorship. Something that's $2,000 to $6,000 for a 9-week program is ideal. So, and it's basically, if you have any kind of nutrition and accountability, it's the same deliverable. Use the same system. We use the 63-day transformation. We give it to you guys to use, but it's the same thing. The only thing we're adding in is a 15 to 20 minute Zoom session every week for a mentorship. That is the difference between something that can be $599 for 6 weeks and something that can be $3,000 for 9 weeks. That's all it is, guys. 15 to 20 minute Zoom. And you're checking in with them. If you're doing nutrition accountability, you're checking in with them anyways. This is just a 15 to 20 minute Zoom call, and people will be happy to pay that. It'll be worth every penny, and you will get them to renew this for 12 months. The people who do your high ticket mentorship are going to be the people who stick around for the absolute longest out of any of your clients. I can promise you that. Track this on the metrics. The churn is so low on mentorship. Shannon Logan was seeing 90% retention on it. And that's just mentorship to mentorship. That's not even taking account the people that maybe just got a good handle on it, said, cool, I'm great to just move into the workouts only. Anything you want to add on the 3 different offers, Dave? Because I know your stuff is gold on this.
Yeah. Can we give a real life example? Like, instead of talking theory, like let's give our green light example. So I just had a meeting with Brandon yesterday. And so like we're finalizing the offers on the menu for our co-founders. So really the first what is the difference between mentorship and accountability? So I was just on that's
a good question.
Yeah. I was on an onboarding session today with Tyler. And he's like, well, what is the difference, Dave? Like, mentorship, what people want more than anything is a guide on the ship, someone to acknowledge how they're doing week in and week out. That requires a 20 to 30 minute, or like sometimes it is 15 to 20 minute touch base at the end of every single week. It's still very valuable to have someone who's not your mentor, but's checking in on you to make sure that you're doing the non-negotiables. Okay. So when we're building our offers for Greenlight, there's 2 offers. Okay. We have our mentorship. Okay. We're doing a 13-week, which combines our first and second gear at 3,600. So 3,600 is 13 weeks. We are going to change your life. We also have our 6-week challenge, Tom Brady. Now we deliver overlapping PT. So our offer is 4 weeks. Okay. So it's 4 weeks. Here's how we're going to utilize it. We're going to sell the hell out of it. In my opinion, it's one of my favorite offers ever. We're going to take them through the sales process. We let them know 13 weeks, we changed life. This is why we created Greenlight. The investment to get started with our 13-week transformation is $3,600. Dave, this is awesome, but I just can't afford it. Gas is $9 a gallon. Crackers are $14 for crackers. I get it. I understand it, Shannon. We're just going to isolate that it's the affordability of the program, because every person that sits down with us in a green light, when we ask, do you want to do this program? This is strictly affordability. Yes. And this is the $1 million transition that we're going to use like clockwork. If we could put together a strategy, an option for you that gives you 80% of what our mentorship program has, and we can collect some quick wins the next 4 weeks, would you be down for that? Everyone's going to say yes to that. Then we transition to, we have our first care offer. We're still going to hold your butt accountable. We're still going to onboard you. We're still going to build you out a nutritional strategy. Only thing you're not getting is a weekly one-on-one mentorship call. I eventually want you to one day to go through our second gear program, but you're here today. Let's put something on the docket that's a little bit more affordable, and we can get you going in our first gear program for $7.99. That's it. And it requires less fulfillment. Okay. We're going to still do a great onboarding. My beautiful wife, Carrie, is going to be our customer service manager. So she's still touching base with them every step of the way. And we've planted the seed. We're going to have a conversation a month from now and see if you're ready to take it to the next level. So we're nurturing them into that higher ticket second conversation, but they're paying $7.99. And with our green light, we're doing 30-minute workouts. They're doing eight sessions, 30 minutes long. The value is still incredible because they have accountability. They have a customer service manager. They're going to build a nice culture. They're going to meet other people in the group. But as a business, the margins on that are insane for us. So just having that A-B punch. Now, here's the difference. If we would just have a $7.99 offer, we're going to collect a bunch of no's. Guarantee it. But because we believe in a transformation so much, we're so price anchored in, it makes our downsell offer, our Hermosi offer, it makes it an absolute no-brainer. So that's the real life example of what we're going to be doing in 6 weeks.
Yes. Yes. And it can be built so many different ways, right? So Taylor Hutchinson came to us, I don't know, maybe a year ago, something like that, right? He traditionally ran the 6-week kind of thing. And a lot of CrossFit gyms will kind of do an on-ramp for 6 weeks too. Like 6 weeks is a popular thing to kind of get a little bit more money, give them higher level service, indoctrinate them into things, and then move them into whatever. But he started bolting on the high ticket on top of it. And it's amazing because if you're not really even that great at selling it, let's just say you're selling it at $2,500. Okay. You sell 2 of those a month. Let's say you sign up 10 people a month. 2 of them, there's $5,000 in new business revenue right there with 2 freaking people. Do you have any idea how much easier that makes your return on ad spend? Like a lot of times you sell 1 of them, you've made all of your money back. The cost of paying a professional to run your ads well, and your ad spend. Boom, right there in one shot. And everything else is gravy off the top. The power of it's huge. If you just sell 1 to 2 a month and your renewals, you're not even knocking out of the park on the renewals. You should make an extra $100,000 in a year's time. And that's a lot because the vast majority of that is going to be profit. The power of just 1 or 2 high tickets for many of you listening can double your income. Like, and I'm talking take home at least. And so, it's like, you've got your, you've got your parabola, right? And you might sell 20% high ticket, and places who are doing really good, they're probably more like 60+% actually. But let's say you got 20% high ticket. You maybe have 60% that do your midweek, your 6-week challenge then, which would be higher than what you would have done before. And then maybe some people are just here. I don't care about any of that. I just want to get some workouts in. I want to move, sweat. That's it. I could give a rat's ass about anything else. That could be your other 20%. So you go 20, 60, 20. And the math on that if 60% are doing your mid ticket, which we really help bring your price up from the $5.99, right? $7.99, in some cases higher than that. It depends if it's a 4-week or a 6-week, of course, in your exact model, whether you group, are you semi-private, whatever it is. But man, you get the high ticket, you get the mid ticket in conjunction with your main low ticket offer. You will find very quickly, in a matter of a few months, your average client value or your average revenue per member per month can double. And that is what makes everything sustainable in 2023. The volume game is a bitch. I don't know of any high volume, low priced gym that's doing better now than they were pre-pandemic, or even coming close to it. I would say at least, I'm sure there's some, right? But I would say at least 95% of the ones that I know are doing worse. The ones who are just doing large group or 6-week challenge, relying on high volume, are doing worse. And I'm talking major franchises and boutique independent places. I'm talking CrossFits. I'm talking boot camps. I'm talking all of it. It's a beast out there. The volume game is not good. You need to learn how to make more money with less clients. Acquisition is tough. It's going to get tougher. It's going to get more expensive. People are inundated with bots. How many text messages and phone calls from shit do you get in a week?
That's it.
Oh man, it's people are not as responsive. They are way more skeptical, rightly so, because you had thousands of gyms running bait and switch offers. So rightfully so, they're a little bit skeptical and hesitant to come in. And yeah, I'm telling you, the volume game is tough. So if you have a high ticket in addition to your mid ticket, push the envelope there. You can, on average, give yourself a few months, let some drop off happen and some new clients paying more and higher rates set in. You will get double the revenue from the average person coming in, because those high tickets offset a lot and your mid ticket sales will go up. Can you imagine if you doubled your revenue right now? Think of how many members you have in your gym right now, whether it's 100, whether it's 150, whether it's 350, and imagine making twice the revenue with the exact same number of clients. Same number of clients, same amount of work, and you're making double the revenue. That would change your entire life, because your fixed costs are what they are. Holy cow. You are just going to skyrocket. You'll probably triple or quadruple your take-home income, and that would change your life in a big way. And, Dave and I share our P&Ls. We've opened up several live on these things. You guys have seen how some of our gyms will do over $250,000 in profit, even $300,000. Right? We opened up the one, I think it was like $317,000 in profit in 2022 to ownership. And that gym is only like, I would say 2,000 to 2,100 square feet. I bet you we got less than 100 clients there. But that's the power of having a high ticket in addition to your 6-week mid ticket or 4-week mid ticket, depending on how yours is designed. Right?
I want to touch on too, just how much less stress. It's hard. Like when you're talking about acquisition right now, and the fact that you have to nurture like a dog, right? Not just to get them on a discovery. Like there's so much nurturing that goes the second the lead comes in to the second that they sit down, then you have to sell them. So that's a lot of pressure. Okay. I don't want to be in a pressure cooker. I don't want Shane. I don't want Clean. I don't want any of our GMs to be into that pressure cooker where they have to sell 5, 6, or 7 of these just to pay the bills when it comes to the ad company that we're paying and our ads. If we just sell one, if we can just pop that one high ticket, happen earlier in the month, the stress on our guys go down, and then we get them to drive. So I don't want to play from behind where I have to sign up 6 or 7 just to get back to break even. It's so like, for me, it's just, I told my guys, you're going to find your first one. You're going to find your second one. If we get 2 or 3 of these higher ticket mentorship clients, which are our dream clients, and if we can get just 2 or 3 every single month, and everybody else, let's get them going on a great accountability program. That just stacks over the course of even 3 to 4 months. That's going to stack.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. It takes all the pressure off. So for so many of us, we had really slow summers. And it's a combination of a few things, guys. It's a lot of people invested in home equipment. A lot of them are doing online coaching, right? With people on Instagram. There's a lot of different reasons, but the main thing is that we had a really slow summer. There's probably some pent up travel because of COVID still, right? A lot of places are taking those vacations that they skipped out on for 2 or 3 years. So there was a lot of that. It was slow, but we only need 2 or 3 people a month, and we're good, man. We are good. And that lets you rest easy instead of needing 20 to 30 to prevent sliding backwards. Because that's what the high volume game is. The more successful you are, the more your churn eats at your revenue. If you got 200 members and you're at 10% churn, you got to sign up 20. 20 just to prevent from going backwards. Shit, that's a lot. I don't know if we've ever even sold 20 in ours.
No.
I don't think we've got, you know,
Yeah.
and you can, but guess what, guys? It's getting harder and harder and harder and harder. And this is why you find that all these large group gyms, they're losing ground, losing ground, losing ground, losing ground. That is the way the market is headed. Less is more. Find more of the dream clients, pitch them an amazing high ticket and a backup mid ticket. You're Tom Brady, and you're going to be sitting pretty. You need a fraction of the amount of clients that anybody else does. And that is how you're going to win long-term and not have to worry long-term. I think it was Russell Brunson. You guys know him from ClickFunnels. He's like a cajillionaire now, but you know, he's the one who said, like, all else being equal, the company who can afford to pay the most to acquire a client wins. And that is very true. Think about that for a second. Because at the end of the day, advertising, paid ads is the biggest leverage point. Now, we don't want you to rely on that. We teach a huge organic strategy that'll have you bring in thousands with high ticket and mid ticket, right? Without having to pay. But for the most part, cost of acquisition, yeah, whoever can pay the most will eventually win out. And if you have a high ticket and a backup mid ticket, you're going to be able to pay way more than somebody who's just charging, you know, $150 a month, or they're trying to keep up doing $4.99, $5.99, 6 weeks. You're going to have a massive competitive advantage. Huge. And this is what, you know, Taylor Hutchinson, I found it when we're talking, I found a little shot of him, but here he is right there, this guy. So he's, a lot of you are like, okay, that's great having a high ticket in addition to the mid ticket, but like, dude, I'm in a rural town. I'm in a small area. There's no way people are going to pay this. Right. Taylor immediately, so he was a 6-week challenge gym primarily. That was his primary thing. He bolted on this and immediately shattered all-time revenues. Then he's been in business for like, well, probably 6 years now, or just maybe 6.5. And you worked with him through that whole process, right?
Absolutely. I think this is a perfect segue. This is how the dance works. Okay. So he's in a town to where he's not selling transformations left and right. He's fantastic at selling this, but this is how things can drastically change. Bethany G, I haven't even got to congratulate her yet. So I'm going to congratulate her live. She just sold her $5,000 executive last week. It was confirmed. So this goes to show you guys, Taylor's fantastic at the 6-week offer. He's not selling, you know, like he's not selling transformation like Skittles left and right, but that one $5,000 sell changed their entire month, their entire quarter. So that's a prime example of Taylor, who's fantastic at this 6-week. He does a great job price anchoring in with his higher ticket offer. He's very good at selling 6 weeks, and he does it group, and he also has a one-on-one that has a higher price point. So he's charging anywhere from $600 to $1,200, maybe even up to $1,300 for his 6-weekers. But it just goes to show you that's keeping him in the game. And then he just has that one client who Bethany, he didn't even sell it. It was Bethany who he coached and trained the first $5,000 sell that they've had. So that's a perfect thing. Taylor's a perfect example of how you don't need to sell a ton of these high tickets to drastically change your business.
Nope, not at all. And that's, yeah. So I was on a call with Taylor yesterday. Bethany sold more high tickets than he has. She works for him. That's the other issue with high volume 6-week challenges. It's a lot. The lead nurture on that is insane. It's insane. And to get somebody to grind that hard, because you're doing this stuff early morning, you're doing this late nights, you're doing this weekends to make this thing work. If you don't want to grind like that forever, it is really hard to replace yourself. Find an employee that doesn't have skin in the game like you and get them to run that play. They got to be a dog. And if you lose them, you're in trouble, because that play can work, but you are grinding. And to replace yourself with somebody that is willing to do that is very, 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 very difficult. But this, just like you said, Bethany's she's selling better than he does right now with this, right? And you need a fraction of the clients. It's so much easier to duplicate and scale. You mentioned Shane, like he runs one of our locations. He runs our gym, our Desert Ridge locations. Our smallest location is 1,300 square feet. And he's not the personality type you'd put in sales. He's not. He's shy. He's an introvert. He's an awesome dude, right? He's not gonna be able to get that fast-paced environment. Boom, 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 wheel and deal. He's just super chill. He'll coach you into taking action. He's just a different kind of guy, but he can do so well. Can we get him to sign up 3 to 6 people a month and grow this thing to be highly profitable and stay there and sustain it? Yes, it's really easy. But you stick Shane in a 6-week challenge, high volume gym.
No.
There's no way. There's no way. And it wouldn't be a good fit for him. He wouldn't enjoy it either. There's just no way it would work out. This is just easier to scale. And you guys know I am all about scalability. So between Dave and I, we're starting our 7th gym. We don't work in any of them. And the reason that we've been able to do that is because we are very profitable. We make way more money with less clients. And it's easy. Like, we don't want to have to rely on an A+ rock star. Because what happens, guys, this is what happens when people try to go to multiple locations. They might lose that A+ rock star and it all starts melting down. Now you're one person trying to handle 2 locations. Very difficult to scale. But if you can give yourself and same thing, Facebook changing an algorithm, that can sidetrack you. You can start bleeding out month after month after month after month. With this, it's so much easier to get there. It's so much easier to sustain it because you need a fraction of the amount of people, and your profit is super high, super high. But yeah, Taylor Hutchison crushed it. Brendan is one of the few. Brendan Young is one of the few who launched a 6-week gym and did really well. Like, he runs an incredible. He's one of the very few who's actually really still at the top of the game. Now he's newer into it. Do you remember when he started? Was it 2 or 3 years ago?
Yes, 3 years. He's been in the game for 3 years.
Yeah. And man, he kills it. Again, you have to be in the right area too. Like, sometimes the big, small towns that have not been touched by competitors are great. Not all of us have unicorn locations either. Let's be fair, right? Gyms where 6-week challenges can work are a lot of times they're just a magic location, lack of competition, good population density, everything. But he's a strong operator and does very well. But he even bolted on a high ticket. All he's got to do is make a handful of those in a high ticket, and he is taking his profit and throwing it through the roof and just easing everything. So now he's advertising less. He's backing off because he's like, I'm making what I need to do with a fraction of the amount of work. So even if you just want to buy your time back, holy shit, you need a true high ticket on top of a 6-week challenge. Does that make sense? And if you guys have any comments and questions, go ahead and throw them in there. Mindy, congratulations. Aaron, congratulations. Thank you. I assume that's earlier on our 7th gym. So awesome to hear. I appreciate that. But yeah, these 6-week challenge gyms, you can bolt these things on and grow them like crazy, which is amazing. I'm trying to find if we got anybody in this little slideshow, but I doubt it. But yeah, Brendan, Taylor, Shannon Logan is somebody who's got a very strong mid ticket, right? And she's making double the revenue what she was before, with like 40% fewer clients. She's working with like 190 some before, doing like in the 30s. And now she's like, I think at 112, and she's doing in the 70s per month. Insane. That allowed her also to take her gym from 11,000 square feet, move it to 4,000 square feet. So do you have any idea what that does to profit when you do those? It's just massive. If you're doing a 6-week challenge gym too, let us know, throw it in the comments. But it's really easy to make this shift and do exactly what Dave and I are talking about. So if you have a 6-week, if you have a nutrition and accountability offer, if we peek behind the curtains, it's the same deliverable. If you don't have it, we have the 63-day transformation. That's something that we give to people that we work with. So hit us up if you're interested in learning about that. It's super easy, done for you. You don't have to create a thing. This has been battle tested over years. And if you do have something that you've done for nutrition and accountability, your high ticket mentorship is just adding on a weekly Zoom, 15 to 20 minutes, and being an awesome coach, talking to them, looking at how they did, celebrating what went well, looked at where they struggle with, based on where they struggle with, give them one key action item that they can do to reduce the resistance next week. And you just keep doing that. It's super fun. It's super easy, very high impact, and financially very rewarding. Do we leave anything out, Dave?
I think we nailed it, man. I mean, I know that I'm never going to have my guys nurture like dogs because they're going to burn out. And if you don't have a higher ticket program, I'll never ask any of our gym, like our GMs, our partners, Brandon, who's running this, like, we're going to ask him to do some dog days for our launch, but it's just, it's a losing battle. Like, I'm not going to stand around on a 759 on like Carrie and I, our one date night a month, and then have to go to my phone and respond. Because here's the thing, here's the bottom line: if you're not willing to nurture like an absolute animal and you're using a marketing company, you are burning money alive. Like, it's literally it's going to vanish into thin air. So I would never ask any of our guys to nurture like that. It's just, they'll do it.
That's
for
exactly
30
why
days,
we
60
use
days.
gymleads.io, is because they do it. There's VAs that will actually book, because you're right. The biggest risk for all of us is burnout, because we're in an industry that's freaking tough. And I've said this a million times, like, man, why did I pick fitness above all these other industries? It has got to be the hardest industry to make a dollar in, because we're selling stuff people don't really want, off the top of it. They want the pill, right? They want the slimming waist thing. They want the whatever. They want the quick fix. And it's like, no, this is about habits, right? This is about, you're going to put this in, you're not going to see anything for a while. And that's just not how we're wired. It's just such a hard industry. And but the bottom line is, if you can make it here, man, it's awesome. And we're doing something important. That is why I got into it. I got into it to make an impact in people's lives. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. But
I hate to interrupt here. A huge shout out, Jody. I think it's her first high ticket, 2K. Shout out to Sid the Kid. I don't think I've told you, she sold her freaking 10 high tickets in their Fit Body Bootcamp. But Jody, freaking huge congrats.
You didn't tell me that was Sydney you talking about?
Sydney, she sold 9. She sold out Sydney's Army. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Sydney. That's awesome. And Jody, congrats. Yeah. Holy cow, that's amazing. And talk about something that, like, that's either make or break, right? If you got low price group, and there's a prime example of that model not working in that market. Holy cow, they work, and they've been working it, but that is just the low price group doesn't work there. So that's amazing. Nice job to the both of you. That's awesome. I had no idea Sydney had 9.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we need to have her on the training. It's just, I said something one day and it just took off. I was like, build an army. And so that's how Sydney's Army created. So she started selling the program differently.
Missy said, nurturing sucks even with automation. Yes, nurturing sucks the soul. Like, God, it is my least favorite. And that's why some people think I'm lazy in my businesses, because we don't do that. We don't do that. It's because I want to protect my people from burning out. I want this to be an amazing job, but man, it can suck really bad with high volume nurture. God, it's hard.
And she nailed it. Missy nailed it with automations. A year ago, with our legends, with doing paid ads, the automations worked. Automations do not work now. If you're not adding the human element, like gym leads, we call them within 5 minutes, right? Like, automations in today's, it's, unless you're a unicorn location, the automations are they're falling on deaf ears too.
It is. People know they're talking to a bot. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work like it used to. Everybody's got Go High Level or their version of it, and whatever you're using, Keep or this or that. Yeah, it's tough. And your 8-week launch using 63-day transformation made 10K in new business in the first 5 weeks. Yeah. And Craig had like the tiniest audience to work with too. That's the power of it. Holy cow. It doesn't take much. A handful of people can change the entire outlook for you. So I appreciate you guys chiming in. But so in the group, in the Facebook group, Gym Owner Freedom, I had announced we are going to run our next cohort to teach you guys how to build, sell, fulfill, and renew high ticket offers. Plus the bonus being our organic acquisition. Giving our whole thing. And this alone should bring in, because Craig, exactly, he made 10K in 5 weeks. Okay. He wasn't running paid ads at all. All this came in organically. So we throw that in there because a lot of you are struggling with leads. What if you could bring in 4 or 5 high ticket leads completely free, right? So that comes into it, but we only work with a small amount of people. We cap it at 10, typically, sometimes less. I announced it, I think it was 2 days ago, Monday or Tuesday. We only have, 6 spots are taken as of today, maybe 7. So we only have 3, maybe 4 spots. available. It's going to start October 11th, right, Dave? Did I get that date right?
October 11th.
October 11th. If any of you are wondering what it is, if it's worth it, if it would fit in your business and would work, comment. What do we want to comment?
Rock and roll. Let's just make up.
Comment rock and roll.
A guitar.
But what we'll do is we'll hop on. You'll hop on with either me or Josh Price and like walk us through your business, where it's at, what your model is, what's your lead flow like, what are your prices and offers like. And we'll explain how this would bolt in there. If it's a good fit, hell yeah, rock and roll, get in here. We're gonna be doing it October 11th. If it's not, at least like we're gonna give you the game plan as like do this, and then you can rock it out on your own. So Sierra, rock and roll, awesome. We're gonna reach out. We're gonna schedule a call with you and just go over exactly what I had mentioned. So 3 or 4 spots left. That's it. So don't hesitate. Comment rock and roll. Hop on the call as soon as you can. This may be the last one of the year that we do. That is not set in stone. Because I just announced it 2 days ago and six spots got filled. We may squeeze another one in November, but there are no promises just with the holidays and some travel that we have. So comment rock and roll. We'll hop on a call. We'll see if it's for you, and we'll help you build out your high ticket. We'll help you build out your mid ticket, kind of like either your 6-week challenge or a 4-week thing, depending on your model. And then of course you have your low ticket. And I'm in a lot of, real quick, Rob, I'm in an urban area, a lot of flaky millennials. Did the gym launch approach for 2 years, made a lot of cash, but EFT dropped. Yes.
Yep.
Now I'm doing one-on-one, averaging about $225 per month, trying to build up EFT, but churn is terrible right now. Rob, we'll reach out to you to schedule something too. We'll want to, if you give me more specifics on it, and if you're doing one-on-one with an average of $225 per month, it's too low. And I know we want to set it low because we're scared about it in the sales process, but also retention. Ironically, $225 a month, you're actually going to have higher churn than if you charged way more than that. And it's, I'll explain why on our call and everything like that. But yeah, the low price, you're going to have higher churn, which is kind of paradoxical. You would think that the higher price would have higher churn, but you're attracting somebody totally different that sees the value totally different. The people who pay the most are the ones who complain the least. They're the easiest to service. And you get a lot of flaky millennials. These millennials now are, I'm an elder millennial. I just turned 41. So millennials are actually starting to make money, but the chances are the way you're presenting it is not conveying the value that you need to for them to see this is a great investment and stay in it. So yeah, we'll touch base and go over that. But we're coming up on 50 minutes. Anything left to add, Dave?
No, I think we nailed it today. Like, there's nothing wrong with the Hermosi Tom Brady offer. As long as you have the high ticket offer on the docket, you're going to be fine. I love it. Like, we're going to sell I'm trying to quit cursing, Scott, but we're going to sell a crap ton of freaking Tom Brady's for a grand opening. Guaranteed. I love it.
Yes.
But it just doesn't make sense unless you have a higher ticket program. The math doesn't add up.
The math doesn't add up. It's just too hard to win that game. And when it's too hard to win that game, you're going to burn yourself out or your employees out. You know, it's just, that's what we don't want. The way we build our businesses are so incredibly scalable to have a huge margin of error and not have to work that hard, because there's not many people who can work that hard other than the owner operator. And some of you hate it at this point. You're looking for something better. Rob, yes, this will be recorded for replay. We'll tag you in it. No problem. I know you missed the first 40 minutes. Jody, thank you. Greatest investment I ever did. That's awesome. Appreciate it, guys. So that is how you do it. Nothing wrong with your 6-week challenge. Okay. You need to buff it up by putting a high ticket in front of it. It will make your closing percentage on your mid ticket go way higher. And you can probably increase that rate by a couple $100 or more, depending on your exact business model. And you can just increase your closing percentage. So it's not go big or go home. This is going to massively increase your ARM or your ACV while you get a higher close rate. And that math is how you make this thing work in 2023. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs and create a consistent flow of high quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that have more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. We will be here Thursday, 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST next week, Thursday, every single Thursday. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon, guys. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.